Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. Today, we got some crazy stuff to talk about again. I think it's going to be a very juicy episode. But first, I want to know from you guys, what time zone are you in? And also, at what time are you watching this video right now? Is it like 5 a.m., 6 p.m. over at your place? While I'm recording right now, it is about 12 a.m., so I think it will be pretty funny to see what different times everybody is watching this stuff. So if you are having your hands free, if you're driving, don't do it. Otherwise, put it down below. But alright, the first topic of today is going to be a little bit on Vechain. Vechain's use case in Shanghai gas, Walmart featured in Global Blockchain Applications Report. By Olayode Yusuf. Very interesting article, but more so, very interesting to see more things coming out from Vechain as they've gotten themselves a record amount of of development within the last month, and it just keeps breaching and keeps breaching, right? There's really not looking as if there's a top on what they can achieve in this year. In another development, Vechain has displayed a clear competitive edge in the blockchain industry across the China by appearing in the Global Blockchain Application Report due to its use cases in 3 different places. The report, christened 2020 Global Blockchain Innovation Applications, was released by the World Artificial Intelligence Conference, which took place in Shanghai City of China, and it was co-created by Shanghai Finance Information Association and the Shanghai Municipal Commission of Economy and Informatization, or Informatization, whatever. The most important part here is they're in another paper. They are expanding. People are acknowledging it. And the things we're talking about here is the Vechain blockchain in Shanghai gas, Walmart China blockchain traceability platform working with Vechain, and Vechain technology uses by H&M and Arcade and some of the other ones. And basically these are the 3 type of sectors they're really exploring. It's all supply chain and related, but basically the 2 things that Vechain is doing mostly right now is making sure things are verified, right? I mean, the products, for example, are verified to make sure that, I guess what you got is real and possibly where it came from. Second one is really traceability, which is more so where did it come from? How is it all working? Like, is everything on time? Is everything correct? All that type of stuff. Is more so the traceability sector. I guess another one here, as I've never explained before on the channel, the Shanghai Gas Energy Service platform on page 11 of the report explained how Vechain Tech has helped the company develop the world's first liquefied natural gas information digitization platform. I guess that's another vertical from Vechain, which I didn't really know too much about before, but really crazy. The development platform helped create a link to upstream and downstream business in the natural gas industry and has allowed the secure sharing of data between receiving stations, sales, operations, and insurance and finance services. It was further explained in the report that Vechain provided blockchain infrastructure and application architecture support for the Shanghai gas project. So that's another one, right? So here we got one for gas. As just said, we have one for traceability. I guess for general supply chain, but more so authenticity. But we also have one for, I guess, preventability, if that's one thing. I don't know if that's a real word. But what that really means and what it does for is it tracks people, which, I mean, is a little bit of a breach of, privacy, but hear me out here. What Vechain does, actually the whole concept there is make sure that not more people than needed will get infected, to make sure that they can have a little bit of a track about what happened, what's going on, all that, to make sure that your employees don't get affected or that they at least don't affect each other. And all of that is something that Vechain does as well. And one of the coolest things is all about Vechain toolchain. And if you've never read about Vechain toolchain, check it out. Just type it in on Google and spend half an hour. You'll be amazed. All right, then an article which is a little bit of I don't want to be the guy who's gonna be going over all the news, the YouTuber drama or Twitter drama, but it's an important part, and you'll understand why in just a second. Goldman Sachs claims no record of XRP investor Will Mead working there, or Will Made. How do you pronounce that? Will Mead or Will Made? I'm gonna say Made. I'm going to go for Will Made. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments section down below. I have no idea. It's not my native language. I don't give a shit. A source at the investment bank cast doubt on news reports that the well-known Twitter personality worked there as a project manager. So yeah, I read through this a little bit, and basically one guy, which is called Will Made, has a bio on Twitter which says, former PM at Goldman Sachs, founded $1.4 billion hedge fund, educated at University of Chicago and Johns Hopkins, former editor, Forbes, email info at statsfin.com. And when I read through the article, it said a couple of things, and that is that they've talked to Goldman Sachs, which said, well, he wasn't a manager. What's it called? What's the official pronunciation here? Project manager over at Goldman Sachs, but they later added, it could have been interpreted differently. It has been pointed out that Mead's bio may be interpreted to say that he was a former portfolio manager, which is not project manager, but portfolio manager, at a hedge fund that was founded by an alumni of Goldman Sachs. Not that he worked at Goldman Sachs itself. We have updated the story to reflect this, which is something that I guess is really important for crypto, as a lot of these misunderstandings can easily come out, right? Because of stuff like this. But another part is that he says here, former editor at Forbes. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see Forbes really has, I guess, noted him, but it was a partnership for a newsletter that he paid for. So, I mean, he's not really a Forbes editor. He just, I guess, paid to publish something, sort of. But it's just how you want to look at it all. I mean, it's a little bit of an exaggeration to say he's a Forbes editor, but I guess it's not completely untrue. But I'm not gonna, go into that too much, as I don't, fully want to reflect an opinion on that I don't support fully. Point of this all is that crypto, and really a lot of this financial information and financial news and whatnot, a lot of it is just really we'll take it on your word. And especially when people are giving you financial advice or financial tips or things they're talking about that has to do with finance, a lot of these guys claim to have authority that they don't have, or they will still tell you something that they, got from a source or anything like that they probably don't even have, or they're making something up to make themselves sound more important, to kind of get them to a new level of trust and also power, right? And I'm telling you guys that because, first of all, I know a lot of these people. I know a lot of people who really claim to know a lot more than they really do, and who also really don't care at all if you make or lose money. It's about their influence, it's about their power, it's about their position in the community. And especially in the working force as well, because a lot of you guys know, a lot of you guys don't. I like data science, right? And I've actually also studied to become a financial advisor, right? And I took a lot of courses, which don't really matter, but I've also been in a lot of these trajectories in the finance industry to make sure I got all my papers, right? Because I like that. I wanted to be able to do that. However, as you can always see on YouTube, I've always said I'm not a financial advisor, like a lot of these guys say as well, because you can really change and hurt people's lives if you kind of mess something up. And on the YouTube channel here, I just want to talk fun, right? But a lot of these guys like Will Made, what they do, which I do get, is really give out a lot of info, right? That's really positive. But also, they are an authority figure, and they say things like, for example, this. I made my first crypto purchase ever this week, XRP Ripple. Me tweeted, I know very little about crypto, but I believe a rising tide lifts all boats. So if Bitcoin goes back to its all-time high, then XRP should as well, and that would be a 15-bag or 1,500%, and that would be a lot more than Bitcoin. And a lot of guys and headlines were like, former Goldman Sachs employee predicts 1,500% XRP rally. And I can understand why. I can really understand why, because it looked like he was a Goldman Sachs, guy. It looked like he was an employee there. However, what came into the world now is a completely fable or completely useless story that we all thought was real. And basically what can happen with this is we can make some wrong investment decisions because he had a really unclear bio here, or some people falsely interpreted it as if he has worked there, and maybe people will buy in too heavily because of things like that. Point of that all is, watch out when you're using someone's authority to buy into something, because he said something on Twitter like, I'm buying, it doesn't mean he has any freaking relevance at all. Even if it was the employee, even if it was the king of the world. I mean, it's not possible, but you guys get me. It doesn't really matter because it happened all over on Twitter. You know, it's not like it's secure. It's not like it's facts. And I'm just wanting you guys to warn, or I want to warn you guys for things like that, especially headline titles. No, what is it called now? The headlines / titles of popular articles. Very often they're exaggerated. Like on my videos, I often have very heavy titles as well because, well, 9 out of 10 times it will, no, maybe 99 out of 100 times, it will be about stuff that's in the video, but you always got to puzzle a little bit, right? But a fact with that is you always try to look for the most appealing part that people would like. And with these articles, they do the same exact thing. They just give you a very heavy title like we saw back in, I guess, July. Oh, it was still July. It was just a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. We saw heavy titles. We all were really, really happy. But in the end, it was all not true. And we were all just, I guess, slapped in the face right now with the reality. And I also had to, clear this up, to clear the smoke that there's no Goldman Sachs employee investing into XRP / Ripple. This guy is saying it's going to be a 15 bagger, has based it on nothing. I do think it's going to go at least times 15. However, he has no explanation for it. He just says, well, if Bitcoin's going to go to all-time high, XRP will as well, and thus it will be more gains. But that's just a really stupid idea, right? I don't support that at all. And by the way, if you're investing into something, make sure you really are standing solid with it all. But yeah, here it also says, lol, Twitter is the best. I made my first crypto purchase ever, yada, 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 right? And then now it claimed, Goldman Sachs claims no record of XP investor because, again, his title. But I get the confusion, though. He didn't lie. He didn't do anything like that. I just think Twitter's taking it too far. News articles are taking it too far. And I think they're hurting people's money. But all right. Just watch out if you can by double checking everything and make sure there's no misunderstanding going on. Ripple executive says crypto payment startup tried to give away its massive holdings of 55 billion XRP. So a big discussion was going on right then and there. All right. A big discussion was going on there. David Schwartz said on Twitter, "We tried. As soon as you could sell XRP easily, giving away became really, really hard." Tiffany Hayden says, "No such commitment was made for XRP," which is the comparison between XLM, where they're giving a lot of these tokens away, and XRP. And basically the difficult point about it is, once it becomes tradable, right, if you give it away to a certain degree, it kind of becomes worth less, right? Because, of course, once it already has a value and you start to give it away, well, people are just going to instantly try to sell it for some quick profits most of the time, which is a bad thing for your whole tokenomics or token economy, whatever you want to call it. I don't know exactly what he bases it on, but I can understand how that would be kind of difficult. Also, there's a couple other ones you could think about why it would be difficult to give it away. However, still, I do think, with my own head here, that they could have still done it if they wanted to. I do think so. They could have, if they wanted to, they could have still given it away, or still at this point right now, where they still have 55 billion or so, they can still give it away by airdrops to just, holders relatively and give some away or something like that. They could still do a lot of things if they really, really wanted to, but I don't think they really want to. And also maybe they're afraid it will lose value. However, that's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. It's a very, very difficult one. However, I just wanted to clear up as well that maybe it was not Ripple's intention from the start to keep as much. Maybe it just worked out very, very perfectly for them. I don't really know, but I just wanted to see and show you guys this. All right, now a little bit of a more controversial one. Robinhood and really crypto exchanges in general. But Robinhood here says, or the article says, Robinhood under cloud after users CS or SC. I don't want to pronounce that just for YouTube's sake, but if you can watch for a second, just, again, you guys know what I mean. Digging your own grave, you guys know what I mean. Scraps UK launch. Now, what happened here, very, very unfortunately, is somebody decided to, not want this life anymore because he thought he was in $700,000 worth of debt. Right? And really because of all of that, Robinhood decided to quit, at least indefinitely, they're launched in the UK. And really kind of an ethics question popped up about safety from crypto exchanges. And one of the most important things I can tell you guys is be safe with your crypto investments. Never invest more than you're able to lose. And definitely don't trade with leverage if you don't understand it fully and really aren't prepared or understanding of what you could lose and what could happen. Because a lot of these guys, they don't really know exactly how options or futures work. And it might all look scary. It might look like you're losing way more money than you are. It might look like you all of a sudden get yourself a big ass debt, which might not be the case. It might just look like that for a little second. And that's exactly what happened with the guy. It wasn't like he was really in $700,000 worth of debt. He just thought so because it looked like it, because the platform wasn't designed optimally. And now Binance, funny enough, has said on Twitter like, "Oh, we're doing our best, haha, to make sure that I guess this doesn't happen to anybody, or that we're the first to just do it differently." However, it's just something he says for publicity, right? Because honestly speaking, Binance could do a lot more if they really, really wanted to. They're trying, really, they are trying. They're trying their best, but they could do a lot more if they really, really wanted to. And one of those things is also that Binance, funny enough, has 125 times that you can leverage it for, which might lose people so much money if they don't understand it well enough, right? And I saw a lot of discussions go by about this today, really a ton of them, as just people are like, well, if you wanted to be so friendly for your users, you would have probably not done that, right? But on the contrary, maybe some people that do know what they're doing want to trade that. I just think it's a very, very big way off between, making it safe as possible, but also making it as convenient as possible for users who really want to. And also making sure that you get the most amount of profit, right? Because Binance has 125 times and even higher, I think they would if they could, because that makes more money, right? More people lose their money. I believe 99% of the people that leverage trade lose money, possibly, over a longer term. Maybe 93, something like that. I think normal CFD, like people, like 75% of the people lose money. But with leverage trading just like this on Binance, I think like 99% of them lose money. Because it's not simple. It's not simple at all. At all. And it's just really, really simple to lose a lot of money. I'm just protecting you guys as well. Another point to make, though, is that you should be careful. And these exchanges, I think we should keep warning them as well if they're going too far by not warning people. Because, well, I'd hate to see another article like this. I hate to see it. And I'm not talking about the canceling something. This part, it just hurts. It's never nice. This is why the plunging exchange withdrawals value indicates the start of an exponential bull run for Bitcoin. Yeah, very, very interesting, but very, very long explanation for all of that. I think we'll get into that later today. So if you're interested, make sure you stick by the channel as I'm going to get further into it. As to why I think a Bitcoin bull run could be up soon. However, I still know for a fact it's up to stocks, like a lot of these articles are saying. But again, we'll get into that a little bit later today. I do want to show you guys this one from Cardano, though, as Cardano prepares to retrace as Shelly excitement fades. I've noticed really quite heavily that a lot of the excitement that there used to be around Shelly has kind of faded away. I'm seeing less and less tweets about it, less and less people being really, really happy. But that's a little bit exaggerated because still there's tons of people that are happy, and still we're just a week and one day, depending on how late you're watching, a week away from the official end or start, really, just how you watch or view it. And thus most likely there's still a lot that is to be coming. And I'm just, again, in the middle here by not really selling, not really buying. I'm just waiting it up as a lot of crazy stuff could happen. But right, guys, hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. Have a nice day, everybody.